Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Ooh, Africa, nakupenda sana, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when you hear that sound, you have a date with me, Dr. Hlami. I'm not alone. I'm with my beautiful, beautiful co-host, Mandla Aventina Mabunda. Good evening, Mandla.
Evening, Doc. It's so nice to be here with you on this platform. But I have a question. You were very short and brief when you did your intro of Africa. That clip where
I'm
you sing about, is it because we are sitting with a maestro today, or what's happening?
Absolutely. You know, I'm super, super excited, really, really excited, tonight. And I just can't wait, to just introduce our guest for tonight. I'm I'm the number one fan of our guest tonight. I'm super, super excited. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are bringing you the living legend, none other than Reverend, it's long. It's Reverend Dr. Mwamiloro Joseph Tshawane. Good evening, Butwamina. Good evening, and welcome to the African Experience Show.
Team.
Good evening, Reverend Tshawane.
Good evening, my daughter and my leader, my everything. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so fine and super, super excited, to be hosting you tonight. Who?
Hello.
Mandla. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, Doc,
How are you
I cannot
doing,
wait,
my
honestly.
daughter and my leader?
Oh, I'm so fine. I'm so fine. And thank you so much for allowing us to spend the hour with us tonight. Mandla.
Good evening, Reverend Tshawane. How are you doing?
Yes, it's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be with you this evening. And I'm hoping we are going to have fun and have a good time.
Yes. No, thank you so much. Well, I know you don't even need to be introduced at
Hello.
all
Are we
because
together?
we know you. You are so famous. Yes, we can hear you. I think there is a technical glitch there, DJ Messi. Perhaps maybe we can just use the. Are you able to hear us, Reverend?
Come again.
Are you able to hear us?
I see you.
Okay, I think there's a technical
I see
DJ
you.
Messi,
Perhaps
maybe. Okay, Mandla, are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you very clear, Doc.
Okay, I think there might be a technical glitch with our guest there. We will have to fix that. DJ Messi, just give us one of, the famous, songs that our guest normally plays while we fix, the technical glitch. Ooh, did you hear that song? This is one of my favorite songs. Hey, wena, shihanyaram. Mandla, what do you think about the song? While
That
we
is,
still try to fix, the technical glitch here.
Doc, that song, ne? Connected people, also spoke to people. Aku bewashikele, irisimleria, aku celebratiwa, irisimleria. It's just such a versatile song. So one cannot help but, have a lifted mood whenever that song plays. And I see Kensani Ngobeni saying, I'm checking if I can get his. If yes, how do we get it? I just realized Spotify, and you can try Spotify. His albums have seen they are listed there, and then you can browse through the albums and then you can get any of his beautiful music. I really cannot wait, Doc.
Absolutely. I think DJ Messi is still trying to see, if we can get our guest, back, because I'm looking so much to it. We come a long way. There is a history with, Reverend Tshawane. I actually got to know him when I was about 3 or 4 years old. Back then, you can imagine we come a long way. So, I wait for him to come back because there is a story there. Hey, it's a very beautiful story. Because Anna a Sunday school, ne? And I will just come back. We are Sunday school. Okay, I think he's coming back. Reverend Tshawane, can you hear us?
Hello, Ceci.
Yes. Welcome back. Are you able to hear us clearly? Reverend Tshawane, are you able to hear us clearly?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello. Are you able to hear us clearly? Mandla?
Yes, Doc. You know, ilogo internet ibana jealousy doesn't understand how much we are looking forward to chatting to our legend. But ladies and gentlemen, is the time to quickly grab some popcorn, grab some water, juice, whatever tickles your fancy. Sit down because I promise you we are going to have such a great time. I cannot wait to talk
Yeah.
to our reverend who's both, a philanthropist, he's also a scholar of note. He's just such a versatile, a gentle giant. And really, I cannot wait really to pick his thoughts, Doc.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm also looking forward to that. Loko baku, internet ina jealousy. Yo, nabunta ya ijelazela straight. Ijelaza kujelaza lokukulu. But anyway, there have been some, challenges with, internet and the banks and I don't know what. I don't know what's just what's going on there. But, um, I hope we will be able to bring him back. Okay, so I was still telling you the story of how we got to know him, Reverend Tshawane. Um, well, I don't even think I remember the story itself, but I have been told, So I will come back, from Sunday school, having learned, to sing and all that, and I will come back to him and say, Butuamina, um, Lima nimidonisa kuyimbelela, and he will listen to me and I will sing a song. I think the song was Kuchaka, Kuchaka Lokukulu, Kuchaka, and I didn't know how to say Kuchaka.
Yeah,
And he will sing back and imitate me and say Kuchaka, Kuchaka Lokukulu. But
yeah,
it was funny because I could hear that he's not saying it correctly.
yeah.
And I will say to him, Hi, Butwamina, abali kuchaka, bali kuchaka.
Yeah, the joys of growing up. That's a very
I
nice story.
know.
That is a
I
very
know.
story. It seems like he's back a bit, but he's a bit faint. I hear like a background sound. Reverend
Yeah.
Chawan, welcome to the show. Are you able to hear me?
Hello.
Good
Yeah.
evening,
Yeah.
Reverend Chawan. Able
Hello.
to hear us?
Hello. Yeah, I've
Hi.
tried to move the position. I think it's my Wi-Fi that is not connecting properly. So
We
I've
can
changed.
he- we can hear you clearly now.
Okay, I've changed the position. We're just trying to. Uh,
Where you
to,
are
to
now, it's very perfect.
Hmm.
okay. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
that is
Yeah,
very
we'll change.
perfect. Yes. It's very perfect. Thank you so much for coming back. Um, yeah. So we maybe let us just go straight, to the questions and really giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself. Who is Reverend, Dr. Nwamiloro Joseph, Tshawane, in a nutshell? If you were to introduce yourself to the listeners, how would you introduce yourself?
Mwamiloro Joseph Tshawane was born in Pretoria. And then I moved to Bushbuckridge, where I grew up as a child. And then I went to school at Tshawane, and then moved to Masana for the final primary school. Then I went to Shungwedzi for my second term. It used to be called first term, to do my ministry. And then from there, I moved to Soweto, where I became a minister. And after that, I was got a scholarship to go to the States to study for the youth ministry. And I came back and started continue with my youth ministry as a director of the youth at the Evangelical Presbyterian Church. But because the church was not ready at that time, I had to move to South African Council of Churches to be the director of the youth ministry, which I also started in the South African Council of Churches, which then took young people all over the world. It exposed them. We knew that one day we'll get our freedom. So we're preparing our young people spiritually, mentally, and physically to take up the leadership of running the country. I'm so excited. A lot of young people that I trained are now in the government. This is Reverend Joseph Mwamiloro Tshawane. But I also use music to mobilize young people, because you cannot do anything without music with young people. So you'll hear much more when as we continue to roll out this program. This is Mwamiloro Joseph Tshawane, the minister of the Evangelical Presbyterian Church in South Africa.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, they will always say that there's something in the name. Your name is Mwamiloro. What does it mean for you to have that name? Does it have any meaning, you know, in your life?
Yeah, Mwamiloro. As I said, I was born in the Roman Catholic hospital at Lady Selborne. This name, I got it. I think I was given that name by the sisters and doctors in that hospital where I was born. But my father accepted the name. I became to be known as Joseph Mwamiloro. And that really, really worked on me. Whatever I was doing, it really meant that I will one day become a minister of religion. And at Lemana, it was very clear, because even at Shungwedzi, I was the chairperson of the SCM, South African Student Christian Movement. Lemana, the same thing. And the leadership of the high school saw, they proposed me there and said, you are very good with working with young people. You must go for ministry. Because at that time, you will know that our young people were scattered all over the world, running away from the apartheid system. So they took me to the FETSAM, where I trained as a minister, but I came back immediately. This church also recognized, hey, this man is very good with young people. That's why I got a scholarship to go to study the youth ministry in America. And I came back and made that contribution. So it was a dream, but I never stopped there. I continued both the ministry of minister. That's where I am today.
What an interesting story. Reverend Tshawane Mandla here. I'm quite interested. You know, Xitsonga va ri, vito ra wena ra ku landzelela. It seems to me like this name, Mwamiloro, has always been running after you. I mean, you mentioned something very profound. You always knew that we are going to get our freedom, and your role was to make sure that we were spiritually ready for that freedom. Please take us, please unpack that for us, because for me, that is very deep.
Yeah. This dream went further, because when I was in the Council of Churches, you will know that the South African Council of Churches was the ANC at that particular time, in the early 70s and right through. So when I was the director of the youth ministry, I took the young people outside the country to meet with the liberation movement leadership in Lusaka. And I remember when we were in Lusaka with a lady who was running the women's department within the South African Council of Churches. We landed at the airport and were not permitted to go and meet the leadership. The first thing that they did was to say they wanted to screen us to make sure that we are not spies coming to expose the leadership of the ANC in Lusaka. 2 days we slept in the airport. And later on, Mbeki came to rescue us. And he said, when we were very angry because we were about to come back home. He says, no, please pardon us. We're just checking on you, whether you are not spies. And then he apologized. He took us to his house and we discussed about the future. And they said to me, and I said to Mbeki, you are going to come back home and be ready. And he said to us, it's good that we are exposing young people all over the world, because tomorrow these young people are going to take over in the leadership of the country. And we believe, and we started working together, and Mbeki said, we need to work very hard so that we expose our young people to Africa and to the whole world. And that was the dream. And today, these young people that you see around, they've been really exposed to a lot of things all over the world. But our problem was that they were not exposed to Africa. That's the reason why we are where we are today. This xenophobia thing is because our young people were not fully exposed to what Africa is. And the apartheid system was basically to achieve that, to make sure that we are not connected with the continent. And that's why we're working very hard today to make sure that our young people get to be exposed to the whole of the continent. Secondly, I also believe that our young people are going to take over the leadership, but they must be ready. The value system, Zobuntu, we need to make sure that our young people are exposed in those areas.
Okay. I mean, it's very interesting to hear you say these, and I think it links a little bit with the theme that you have chosen for tonight. You saying, striving for social cohesion, and that theme speaks a lot, to some of the values that you are talking about, today. Is there any connection between that history that many people might not know and what we have chosen as a theme for tonight?
Yeah. You will realize that our new government now, seventh administration, the way the South African people voted, they are attempting to bring the people of South Africa together, white, black, and all of those together. The problem that we had, you might see that some of the young people who are in the parliament are still militant. They don't want to hear anything about the white man or white person. And what our forefathers did, like Nelson Mandela, was to say, we need not to repeat what other African continent did when they achieved their liberation. White people were chased out of Africa. But in South Africa, Mandela said, white people are part and parcel of the problem that they created in South Africa. And we need to be inclusive and learn from them and work with them so that we can learn the system and the skills that they learned from our forefathers. That's the reason why today they are still dominating in the economic sphere. You will remember that during those times, when other young people were going to school, educating themselves here in South Africa, we said liberation first, education secondly. That's the reason why we have no skills, and other young people from part of Africa are coming here and they are more skilled than us at doing a lot of things for us. It is because the problem started there, where education was completely foreign to all of us. So
Yes.
this is the problem. And our young people in Africa are militant. But you'll see that the young people here in the parliament, they're fighting, and all of those things are part and parcel of the remnants of the apartheid system. And what we need to do today is to harness our young people, make sure that they move from anger, they come back and balance and use that energy to begin to change the economic systems that is facing us in South Africa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. Now, one would think for such a deep topic, Reverend Tshawane, one would associate that with deep things in dabas, discussions, debates, but you chose to associate and be a change driver using music. Take us through that transition. Take us through the link between being a change driver and using a music as a tool. How did that come about?
Okay, I was a musician from the onset. When I was a young person, my father used to have a shop. I used to steal the Cobra container and make myself a guitar, and I used to play that thing. When I was young, at the age of about 13, 14, I was playing music. And you will know that my grandfather were traditional healers, and they used to play those drums, and I would listen to them. It had an impact on me. I went to high school, I bought myself a guitar, and went further and started composing music as late as in the 60s. But during those times, I was really influenced by Jim Reeves. I used to sing like Jim Reeves. If you didn't know, in the other room, you will think it's Jim Reeves. My voice, I was highly influenced by music of Jim Reeves, Brooke Benton, the the quartet, and all of those things. And I started forming music at that time, and I used to sing with Salani, and that kind of thing influenced a lot of young people, and a lot of young people wanted to sing like me. Hence, but I was so that young people.
I think we are losing him. My love, can you still?
Peace, the lyrics that promote togetherness, and hence, even up to this day, I'm still singing, and I'm still going to write more songs. You will remember I made over 20 albums, and music has helped me to reach out to those people who are far away, not only through the pulpit, but through the airwaves.
Wow, that is so beautiful to hear. An hour doesn't do justice to the depth of the persona that we are talking to. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is the African Experience, where we bring giants, really, where we bring homegrown, local, proudly African people of character, people of noble character to come and talk to us and inspire us to be change drivers in our different sectors. Tonight is no exception, Doc. We are talking to none, I can't even describe him, but we are talking to Reverend Dr. Mwamiloro Joseph Tshawane. Some people know him as a scholar. Some people know him as a renowned composer. Choirs, I don't think there's any person who follows the choral scene who does not know who Reverend, Dr. Tshawane is. Maybe we need to go for an ad break, and when we come back, we're gonna go deeper and understand what inspires him to also write the music that he writes, and what keeps him going, because he still looks very young for his age. So DJ Messi, let's go for an ad break, and then we'll continue with the chat.
Limpopo Gospel Divas Concert. Get ready for 2024 Women's Month celebration with Limpopo Gospel Divas. Join us on the 17th of August 2024 from 10 a.m. at the Farm Life 191 Percy 5 Mashashane Road as we bring together an incredible lineup of artists.
Oh, my Eloi, I am Kunamen. Lady Chama Choteye, Jonatiri, our
Matawo, Pastor Ruli Chauke, Nunkikoma, Newi, Tusonel, Hauhalokekana, Cairo, and Refidondo. Admission, it's absolutely free. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to experience the best of Limpopo's all-ladies gospel talent. Mark your calendars, gather your friends and family, and get ready to be blessed. Come, let's praise and worship. Proudly brought to you by Bold Moves Foundation, sponsored by Sampra.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The show is The African Experience. We are talking to a giant. We are talking to, Reverend Dr. Tshawane today. And then we are talking all things music. We are talking all things change. We are talking all things Africa. And I know people are having a great time at home. I'm receiving WhatsApp messages. People are saying, wow, you're having such an expert, such a maestro, such a leader of the community. So Rev, people are waiting to hear about your love of music. You told us how you started at such a young age. Now, what inspires you to write the type of music that sticks to our mind year in, year out? Your songs never seem to get out of fashion, if I can put it that way. What is the inspiration behind your songs?
Yeah, the inspiration comes from the fact that I used to be inspired by
Hello, Reverend, are you still with us? Dr. Hlami, are you with us?
Yeah, I am with you. I think we
Late.
kind of, this internet today, this internet is not really doing us justice. Yeah, it's not doing us justice at all, because we want to hear. Yes. Yanan
I'm
Matlweni,
back
Rev?
with the laptop. Can you see me?
Okay.
Yes,
Now we can
we can
see you.
see you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Mandla was still asking you about what inspires you to
Okay.
write the kind of music that you write.
I will with me now.
Yes, yes, we are listening.
Yeah. Use. Are we together now? We're trying to fix the laptop. I hope it will work. If it's not, we'll go back to the.
Today, yeah. Okay, DJ Messi, we have another music, that we have, from Reverend. Maybe we can just play that so that, we can dance while we are fixing, those technical glitches there. One of my favorite songs as well.
Wandichabelela, moya washikwe. Wandichabelela, moya washikwe. Loko kufika ngari, wamina wakurengiwa, nditabyela mani, Yesu nsena. Loko ndipela nambu wameringo, nditabyela mani, Yesu nsena. Wandichabelela, come on, sing with us. Wandichabelela, moya washikwe. Wandichabelela, moya washikwe. Loko ndipela nambu wa Jordan, nditabyela mani, Yesu nsena. Loko ndipela nambu wa Jordan, nditabyela mani, Yesu nsena. Wandichabelela, moya washikwe. Wandichabelela, moya washikwe.
Yo, man, I've been dancing. When he says, come on, sing with me, I was singing, to the top of my voice, Wani Chabelela, because, this is one of, the favorite songs
Yeah.
that I have. Oh, I love that. Rev, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Mi kota ku hi twa mosuswa.
Yeah, Namito Snene. Look, you got there much like a phone, but we're trying to get through there. I hope I'm audible.
Very, very loud and clear. So, Famba. Okay, so
Yeah.
Mandla was still asking the question, what inspires you to actually write, the kind of music that you write?
Yeah. I said the foundation was that I was always touched and inspired by the music that came from America. You'll know that the gospel music was promoted heavily in America by slaves. And that music, it is the music that made them to survive in America. You look at the lyrics, the gospel spiritual music were sang by people like James Cleveland. You remember, I also invited James Cleveland in sponsored by my cousin Ruel Koza. He came here. He wanted to promote during the time of the rule of apartheid. He came here to come and help us, to motivate us, so that we can heal our people through the word of gospel music. And from then, I was also motivated to start writing songs, to also heal our people, because music it's a healing therapy. It's therapy. You'll remember we're going through tough time. Music like Bombongeni Ngema, Sarafina, Mambazo. Now the Soweto Gospel Choir. You know, Soweto Gospel Choir was started by a young man that I trained. All of this music are music that really heal the wounds of our young people. And you will know that we sing songs like Senzenina. These are songs, spiritual songs that really touch the heart and mind. So I was motivated by those kind of music. And I started to write music and I started to record, but I didn't have time to promote my music. The song that really made an impact was Shanya Nomo. And during that time when I wrote that song, Shangaan people were not even able, we are afraid to speak Shangaan. and I wrote that song. People started to, that song started to be played in all stations in South Africa. It nearly became our anthem. So these are kind of things that I wanted to say when we speak about bringing the people of South Africa together and making sure that all the members of the South African community will make a contribution towards the dismantling of apartheid. So that's the music that.
Wow, that is so great, Doc, to listen to this. That's why I'm saying.
That really influenced me.
That's why I'm saying, an hour will not do justice to the depth of the story that we were supposed to be sitting and listening. I'd like to recognize some of our listeners that are actually enjoying this show. We have Mr. Gabriel Mafumu, all the way from Bushbuck Ridge, from Zola Trust. He's actually saying, hala to Dr. Tshawane, Velezeni from, Gabriel Mafumu from Zola Trust Bush, Bakrich Mpumalanga, says Kensani Ngobeni already was the first on the show, and she was saying, you know what, I need to download his music. Where do we get the music? And we already spoke about streamlining, we spoke about Spotify. You can download on any of this online musical platforms that we have. Doc, I honestly cannot wait to hear more. I wanted to pick on his brain when he said music is a healer, music is therapy. I wanted to find out if, Reverend Tshawane, do you have a specific song when you play that, or when you were penning it down, you felt the healing now starting with you, or you felt the people responding to it in a healing manner? Are you even aware when you're writing your songs that now I'm writing a healing song, now I'm writing a wedding song, now I'm writing a funeral song? Is that intentional, or it's something that happens while doing the magic of music writing?
Hello?
Hello, Reverend. Are you with us? Did you hear my question?
Yeah, can you repeat? I didn't hear that one. Yes.
Okay, I was saying I was quite interested when you said healing comes from music is actually a therapy for healing. So I was saying, when you are writing your songs, are you in a space where you're thinking, now I'm penning down a healing song, or I'm penning down a wedding song, or I'm penning down a funeral song? What goes through your mind when you are writing these songs?
Yeah, my music, it's I'll call it, it's a three-dimensional. It's even my gospel music was more of a social gospel. During the time of apartheid, I used to write music that will touch, like I was saying to people, pretend to be Christians, and yet they are oppressing us. I'm looking at the white community, the people who were running our country at that time. They call themselves Christian, and that what they were doing with their black brothers was completely contradictory to their Christian faith. So I look at what was going on at that particular time, and also I said, no, I cannot just write music that is because gospel music is a protesting music. It challenges people who claim to be Christian, and yet they are hypocrites, and they really follow the principle Jesus Christ brought into our lives. But I also wrote music like Hoyo Hoyo. You remember Hoyo Hoyo, Satilo, Makanan. These are love songs, and we cannot just want to go to heaven. God has also be relevant to the society and environment and condition in which we ourselves find ourselves. So I'll specifically write, I'm motivated when I go to weddings, I listen to the songs. I said, no, you know, there's something that is lacking here. For instance, Hoyo Hoyo, it's a song that talks about gender-based violence. I'm saying to young people, if you get married, be wife, and if you cannot, bring her back, don't that family, and vice versa. So these are kind of music that speak to the condition and the situation in which the people find themselves. It might not sound like gospel, but gospel on its own that people I thought they build, because I don't write, I get into society, a person who sits in the office and write music. I also travel and see more issues that I find in the conditions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can remember, some of those songs, Bohoyo, Hoyo, Sati Hilo. One of the musics that I also like, the other one that I like, Mandla, was Kanimambo, Manana, Kanimambo, beautiful, beautiful songs indeed. Woo, the time is really, really, flying as we are having fun and all that. Maybe before we even get to the end of the show, we know that you wear multiple hats. You spoke about yourself, as an activist, as a priest, but as an activist, using the church and all that, and as a musician. But also, you had played a very significant role in the ministry, from our church to leadership, and you have won a lot of awards and things like that. Tell us a little bit more about Wamiloro wearing those hats. Rev? Okay, Mandla, while Rev is really coming back, you can see on that picture, he's also actually a doctor. He got, his PhD, and I wanted him to tell us a little bit more about that, because he seems to be, the person who's hungry for knowledge, hungry for expanding the knowledge and the skills and learning and all that. I would like him to tell us a little bit more about that. Reverend, are you back? Can you hear me?
He seemed to be back, but seems like there's a breakdown in us hearing him, the link here. Reverend, are you with us? Are you back with us? Yes, Doc. I was so keen to ask him about his thesis. In his PhD, his topic was actually notions of community in the thinking of Desmond Tutu, and it is something that is close to his heart because, as you can see, even his background, there's a banner of Desmond Tutu. I wanted him to unpack that for us. It would have been a nice story to listen to. So I don't know if you're able to uh,
Yeah,
Reverend, are you with us?
yeah. Let's talk over the phone.
Okay.
My
Okay.
yeah,
DJ Messi. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to live out.
Okay. I think that will be better. Mandla, you can continue.
Yes, so he seems to have a very strong connection to Desmond Tutu. I don't know if it's the Soweto where he also spent a lot of his time there, and even his church is still within the vicinity, and so it will be interesting to actually go and explore that deeper and find the link between himself as a scholar. I mean, to be interested in a character such that you write your PhD on that particular character is something that is fascinating.
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I can let me recognize, some of the listeners that are joining on Facebook. I see Zongi George Paloi. Thank you so much for joining. He's saying, multi-talented giant, a leader, an activist, theologian, philosopher, musician, coach, mentor, you name it, actually. And that is very, very true. He's such a broad person wearing, multiple hats. One thing that I would have liked to ask him as well is, he's very deep. He has received a lot of awards. Maybe TJ Messi, while we are trying to get him back, just show us, some of the pictures that we found on, his social media platforms and other platforms where he's receiving awards, he's on stage, and it's really, really interesting. And he worked with a lot of, other musicians like Benjamin Dube. He's well known in Mozambique and other countries as well. So it's really, really a legend, that we are talking to. Ref, give us an indication if you can hear us, or DJ Messi, you can just show, some of the pictures that we picked. And while we getting that, I want to put you on the spot, my co-host. Ungetluli bamfundisi bambale bugawu rotsuka mandla.
Hey, Shule colleague. Awo hala hala. Actually, my professor called me the other day. She was like, and then what's happening? Where is data collection? And what say, baby steps, doc. I'll get there. I will get there.
You will get there.
Yeah, but this is a scholar of note. He doesn't seem to get tired. I mean, it's just that the internet is being the internet. I really wanted him to talk to us about the number of books that he has, written. Because I must also declare, I'm also his dietitian on his personal front. I get
I
to receive
see.
some of these things. His books I have, his albums. Some of them are like 3 albums in one cover. I
Yeah.
get to enjoy those kind of things. So really, there's a lot. I think honestly, DJ Messi, please allow us to host him properly and thoroughly, give him the honor and the attention he deserves, because today the internet is just doing something else. I don't know. That's my proposal, Doc. I don't know
I,
what you.
I I agree. I agree with you 100%. I agree. I think the internet did not do any justice because there were so many questions, that I actually wrote. I had so many questions that I wanted to ask him, and but the internet is really not, doing it justice. Like one of the things that you remember, we spoke about it a little bit to say, when I was still young, I got to know him when I was about 4 years old. Because
Mhm.
remember, in our church, my father was a priest, in the same church. And they did, this internship, kind of, situation. So it's either you go and study and then you are placed with another priest and maybe an older priest where you do your internship and all that. So that is where I actually got to know him, because he was doing some kind of internship of some sort, with my dad. And it's true that he liked music. It's very true. Even during that time, you'll find him, playing a guitar. I remember, wearing, this hat, and he was playing a guitar and things like that. And that is where I will come home and say, thinking that I will teach him how to sing and doing kuchaka and all that. Even today, when we meet, we still remember, those beautiful, beautiful memories. Yeah. So, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to this legend, and unfortunately, and we apologize, the internet is not doing us justice. But yeah, it is what it is. Mandla?
I mean, he's a leader through and through. You will not believe at his ripe age, this is someone who still organizes health days for his parish. Loko u ya kerekeni ya mfundisi Tshawane ka ha endliwa ti-walks, and he calls healthcare professionals, and they come and
Mm,
they talk to the parish, and they tell them about healthy eating, the importance of physical exercise. So really, I wanted us to also look at that, because honestly, for you to have that energy and the wisdom to do all this, clearly your nutritional state must be in the highest peak of order. So I wanted him to also tell us and give us, wisdom in that front. How can we make sure that we live long, but not only long, but quality life? Because he
mm,
seems to have a recipe for that.
mm, mm. Absolutely. And, I mean, I've been following him on social media in the recent past because really, when you like somebody and you like their music, you want to know what they are doing. And I was so impressed. Just recently, I saw him on stage, and I think they were performing, whether they were in Mozambique or elsewhere. Wow, you will say, wow, wow, wow. He's still, performing and he's singing, and people were really, really, enjoying the music. And for me, this is something that is really, really inspiring. It's such an inspiration to say, look, you Google Tandayo, ne? And I feel very, very inspired about the life of Reverend Nwamiloro Joseph Tshawane. I see Tsakani Mabasa. Thank you so much for joining. What a great man of God. Your music comforted me through a very difficult time when I lost both my parents. How I wish I can meet him and talk to him. Thank you so much for
Hello.
joining. Yeah, Mandla, I agree with you that perhaps we'll have to redo the show, making sure that that internet connection is really working well, because we didn't do justice to the show tonight, especially for the legend that he is.
Mm. Honestly, I mean, we would have loved you talking about the concert. That concert was in Pumalanga, and he was hosting, the likes of Benjamin Dube. It was a star-studded affair. And, buses came from all the parishes of, EPCSA, and it was a beautiful setting. I want to know honestly, he still goes on stage and perform. And when he takes hold of that mic, it's almost as if the heavens open and everyone can feel it. That's why everyone is drawn to him. So, we are maybe enticing people to join us next time when we say Reverend Tshawane. I'm telling you, we're going to have a brilliant time. We are going to enjoy the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so, so much, Mandla. And unfortunately, this is what we have, the time for. And want to apologize that, the internet was not doing us justice, tonight. But yeah, we got, the glimpse of who the person that we are talking to is. He's not just a small person. It's really, really broad in different spheres. And thank you so much, for our technical producer, DJ Messi. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the African Experience. We meet again next week, same time, same place, where we bring, other people with inspiring, stories. Mandla, your parting shot quickly.
No, thank you so, so much, Doc. It's always a pleasure having this show and, talking to you and to other people from all walks of life in Africa and globally. So it was an honor really to have this chance to talk to our, honorable Reverend Dr. Mwamiloro. I like that name,
I
Mwamiloro
know.
Joseph Tshawane. So until we have more time to talk to him nicely, we will have to close it here for today. Stay blessed. Stay tuned. Next week, same time, same place, like the doctor has said, we are going to bring yet another African game changer. Good night.
Thank you.